Audi was founded in July 16, 1909 by August Horsch, a German engineer who formerly worked under Carl Benz. After his first failed car venture, titled A, August Horsch went with Audi, which is listen in Latin. Audi is headquartered in Bavaria, Germany. The four rings that represent the four base companies of Auto Union comprise the Audi logo. The first ring represents Audi itself, the second ring represents DKW, the third ring represents August Horsch himself, and the final ring represents the Wanderer. Audi's target market is based from the ages 25 to 60, mostly male, with income of over 500,000 per year. Audi segments the market in the following ways. Number one is geographically, based on their region across the world. So for example, people in Canada, drivers in Canada, drive bigger cars than we do here in Europe. Number two, demographically. So for example, a 20-year-old man is more likely to drive an Audi than a 70-year-old man. And three, psychographically, which is when the market is segmented depending on personality traits. Audi's main competitors in the market are Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Ferrari and Jaguar. Next is the economic approach to brand management. In these slides I'll go over how Audi uses transaction cost theory and the 4 Ps of the marketing mix to develop its brand. So transaction cost theory shares assumptions with the invisible hand theory, meaning people will always be drawn towards an exchange with optimal price to utility ratio. Therefore, Audi must minimize transaction costs, as from the point of view of a brand like Audi, it is essential to minimize the transaction costs for such an exchange, as a high transaction cost may cause a barrier which will make the consumer choose a different brand. The 4 Ps of the marketing mix as we recognize it today are also central to minimizing transaction costs. The first P of the marketing mix is the product. This is the physical product which the company offers its consumers, which in turn provides benefit to the consumer who decides to purchase it. Audi are recognized as one of the big 3 car manufacturers in Germany, the other 2 being BMW and Volkswagen. This label means that its consumers have come to expect only the highest quality when purchasing Audi products. Audi has always been at the forefront of incorporating new technologies into its vehicles. This is demonstrated in the new Audi A8 model, which has incorporated the use of Audi AI, which is a driver aid that enables the car to effectively drive itself up to speeds of 60 kilometers per hour. The second P is the price, which refers to the price that the consumer will eventually pay for the product. Audi makes use of a premium pricing strategy when pricing its products. This means that they will price their products higher than other similar products from other companies. For example, the basic model Skoda Octavia is priced at around €19,750, whereas the similarly spec'd Audi A4 is priced starting around €36,000. Audi also makes sure that your purchasing experience with them is tailor-made with Audi Finance. Audi is providing an innovative new way to finance your car purchase with Audi Finance, which provides you with specialized deals depending on certain conditions, such as what model Audi you're buying and what you'll be using that model for. The third P is promotion, which is the actions that Audi undertakes to make its brand visible to consumers. Audi has a very strong brand image. Its logo, comprised of 4 interlocking rings, is instantly recognizable when referenced. Audi has invested in many sponsorship ventures, varying from major sport teams in the Bundesliga, Germany's top football division, to movie franchises such as Iron Man. Audi have also recently made a splash in the rapidly developing esports market by sponsoring the team Astralis. The final P refers to the place. This is how Audi moves its products from manufacturing to the consumers. Audi manufactures their cars in 9 different countries. Audi have prioritized investing in the untapped Asian market, and this has resulted in a surge in popularity in India, where even though they experienced a drop in sales this year, they still sold 7,800 units.
Brand identity represents what the brand is, what goals they aim to achieve, and what they stand for. Audi is instantly recognisable because it has a distinct logo with 4 black hoops linked together in a horizontal line. When it comes to the identity approach, Heading, Knudsen and Gere mentioned how Peter Burns, his outlook was that the product's design and communication should express one unified identity. The identity approach has 2 methods, visual identity and behavioural identity. Wally Allen says that brand identity can be visual as a brand's physical appearance can have an impact on the individual. This can help an individual relate to the brand at an impressive level by seeing similar traits. Kennedy spoke on how customers have an idea that when it comes to a company, they can have a perception about their experience with the brand. There are 3 significant elements when achieving the identity approach, and they are image, vision and culture. Audi's image, vision and culture all protect the same goal. They want consumers to trust the brand as they are known for being top of the range and upmarket. They want customers to see similar traits of theirs in Audi's brand. For visual identity, Audi has created different styles of cars that suit people's different needs. There's something for everyone that they can relate to and see themselves with. For behavioural identity, people buy into Audi because there's a positive perception about the company. It's known for being top of the range as it knows the target market and their products are always upmarket. The theoretical framework behind the identity approach is corporate identity, organisational identity, image and reputation.
The basic concept of the consumer brand approach is that in order to build a strong brand, you must shape how consumers feel and think about your product. Consumer brand approach focuses on the consumer and what is the best positioned your brand positively in the consumer mind. Knowing how consumers behave and think is the key to maximising your marketing campaign. Audi has built up itself as one of the most trustworthy brands in the world. Globally, 91% of consumers said they are willing to reward a brand for its authenticity by recommending the brand to friends or buying the product. This shows the importance of Audi having a trustworthy brand. Consumers learn through experience, and a positive one will last in the consumer mind. Consumer attention states that consumers will pay attention to brands that provide associations that correspond with what consumers deem important, and the trustworthiness of Audi will position Audi ahead of consumer rivals. It's still on the other side.
Fuck.
Audi is seen as both a sophisticated car and fun to drive, which is quite appealing for young generation drivers. This is because Audi is seen as not being too serious, which appeals to younger generation drivers who may feel the same way about themselves. So I use the consumer-based approach. The consumer-based approach is the effective approach as a consumer is ultimately the ones to purchase your product. So naturally enough, it only makes sense to focus on how consumers behave and think in order to achieve your marketing goals, giving your brand every chance in competing against rival competitors.
So Audi is an extremely trusted brand that has built up trust over many years. Therefore, it has a few lessons for other companies. They say in order to be successful, you must have a good discipline, put a huge emphasis on customer service, emphasize on the security and safety of the cars, create demand from their marketing, generate new products to get people to come into the dealerships, don't hold on to too much inventory, and finally keep hold of your pricing power. However, there's also weaknesses. So because Audi does not operate on a huge scale, unlike its competitors such as Ford and Toyota, they are dependent on the European market. Their sales in Europe are due to environmental initiatives and incentives given by European governments. So there is a risk of European markets going into decline. In conclusion, Audi is an upmarket company which makes it reliable as they always satisfy their customers' needs. Audi has always been at the forefront of innovation in its sector, finding new ways to incorporate new technology into both its products and also its customer service. Audi have made their brand extremely visible via sponsorship of major sports teams. Audi have made it one of their main priorities to enter the market of Asia. Thank you for listening to our presentation.